But you said earlier that you wanted to see a change in banking culture. Well, now part of the leverage of that is whatever has happened, the bankers realise that they're being saved. Now, the motive of saving them is another issue. We don't love them, but we want to save them because we need banking. But surely, in this changed environment, the caution that they're showing for a product and a service of this kind just isn't good enough.
I agree.
Well, but why isn't that being shouted from the rooftops? I mean, I think there's a sort of people are tiptoeing around the banks.
No, far from it. I think that has to change.
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, we've had clones in the Department of Finance for the last 10 years. Right, we've had that allowed stupid ministers for finance to make daft decisions, and they're the brightest of the brightest. We've had clowns in senior management in banking. Now, some of them have left, but they were forced at gunpoint practically off boards. And we've had clowns inside the financial regulator. Now, how the hell are we supposed to change the culture until we get rid of all these people and bring in a brand new fresh team? And right now it seems to me that 90% of the people responsible for the system that has failed us are now in place. And you're talking about, and I agree with the concept of getting support behind these type of projects. How can we do that until somebody stands up and actually says, we're cleaning out the Department of Finance senior level, the financial regulator at senior level, and I don't mean nominal heads of boards, I mean the people responsible, and also inside the banking sector. I can't see how we're going to change the culture until we actually are prepared to cull, and I mean cull properly, and not just political culling for the sake of putting something on the shelf.
Bobby. I agree with what Eddie said there. I also think that unless that happens, unless these people are taken out, that the government will fall. Because the only way people are going to support the current government that we have are if there's action seen in this area. And could someone tell me what 1,700 people do in Anglo-Irish Bank every day? They've been there now for 12 months. What is everybody doing in there? What does a guy do when he turns up at his desk every morning? They're not lending, they're sitting there. So are they just providing reports about reports? I think it's a crazy situation. And I think that people know what's going on, they're not fools.
So as a significant percentage of businesses in Ireland are SMEs, what supports does the panel think needs to be put in place to help it survive and grow? Thank you.
Patricia.
Well, I have a long list, but I'd say the top three things at the moment in terms of supporting all businesses and small business. And you're right, 98% of all companies are small business, employing less than 50 people, and in total they employ almost 800,000. And there is a real sense of frustration amongst most business people that people trading in the domestic economy who are micro businesses get basically no support at all at this moment in time. I was asked by a journalist recently, what had the government done for enterprise since all this started? There's been a €250 million scheme and a €100 million job scheme, both schemes of which are only open to 800 companies max, and we have 250,000 businesses. So we really need to rethink in total our entrepreneurship strategy. But I think on the basis that the government obviously doesn't have a lot of money, the key things that it can do for businesses is first to get the budgetary situation in order, going back to confidence. That if people have confidence that we're really cutting public expenditure, that we're not going to tax ourselves out of existence, then investment decisions will be made and consumers will come back out. So it's a macro issue that will benefit all businesses. On the banks, NAMA will do nothing to restore credit supply. There is a debate as to what level credit supply should be at in the context of a reduced economy and a reduced GDP. But I think certainly other OECD countries have taken the route of introducing risk-sharing mechanisms. So a government-backed loan guarantee scheme to small businesses. So you're not backing the banks, you're actually backing a portfolio of loans that go to small businesses. That allows the banks to move their risk criteria and their risk assessment. And that's the critical thing, because at this moment in time, the banks simply say, well, you're not viable. And the department say, we're not supporting non-viable businesses. But if you were to take that attitude at the scale that they're taking that attitude, you'll end up with no businesses and loads of people on the dole. So we have to move that risk assessment. Certainly it was over here and being too risky, but now it's gone right back here. So we need to find this balance, and there will have to be direct intervention then. And I think the third area then is in the overall cost competitiveness, levelling that playing field and tackling things, like telling the local authorities they're not going to be allowed to put up rates. Really tackling the CBR in terms of, this nonsense that introducing competition into the energy market for competition's sake rather than to actually reduce prices is good. We don't care whether there's competition or not so long as there's actually, we have low prices. And similarly, maybe a moratorium on form filling for 3 years, because that is an actual cost to business. So all of those things I think are really critical.
A murmur of approval went around the room there.
But I think obviously in terms of things like just basically having a national entrepreneurship policy, tackling the issue of how are we going to get more people to set up businesses, having a vision for what we want this economy to look like. I haven't seen anything like that. Like in the Smart Economy document, entrepreneurship gets 2 pages of random bullet points. We're just not in the right space at all. I think it's an awful lot of work needs to be done.
I called Ben, but just to alert John Dockrell when I come to his question next. Ben.
I came from a very large business, and I'm now a small business, and I spend a lot of time speaking to people in small businesses. And the biggest criticism that I would have as regards small businesses is that their overheads are too high. And if you examine their overheads, the people who own these small businesses, and in a lot of cases their family are working in them, with them, and they're the highest paid people in the organisation. They're the people who, I'm talking about the people who own these small businesses, they're the people who won't work the unsociable hours. If it's a 7-day-a-week business, you'll find the family won't work at the weekends, won't work bank holidays, and small businesses are being hammered because overheads are too high. And in most cases, in my opinion, the overheads are too high because the people at the top are drawing too much out of them, and even more so now than ever because we're in recession. Businesses are making less profit, but the people who own them still want the same standard of living. The people at the top have got to realise times are tough and they've got to reduce their costs.
Ben, I don't think you're talking to
I didn't expect you to agree with that. You're heading the Small Business Association, but I'm telling you, I'm even using it in my own business. I have 2 sons in my own business. They're the 2 highest paid executives, and I find it very hard to get them to work the unsociable hours. I would say next to impossible.
Have you considered the alternatives then working for you?
I have told them if they don't do it, go on to Patricia. She'll give them a very good job.
I give them advice that they're for dismissal then.
Eddie.
I think just back to the question, just firstly on the budget. As I know, as far as I know, there's 800,000 people employed by SMEs throughout the Republic of Ireland, and they were not represented during the partnership process, which for me, particularly during the tenure of the last government, morphed into, if I may, morphed into an abdication of power, which went into this partnership process, and we have to wrest back that power at the next budget in terms of getting costs down, particularly in public sector paying pensions. And once you give power away, which Ahern did into the last government, it's a hell of a job to get it back. And there's going to be, in my view, a major confrontation between the state and the public sector that's going to go on throughout next year, and it will start with the budget. On the question of what the government could be doing, I think the German model is very, very interesting and one that should be looked at. And this intervenes where there's going to be job losses. And instead of somebody losing their job and then going on the dole and getting handouts from the state, they stay in their jobs, maybe working for a day or 2, and the remainder of the week is paid for by the money that would otherwise have been paid out in the dole. And in that way, somebody is kept in employment, keep getting the experience, and when the upturn comes, they'll simply move from being paid for 2 days a week from their employer to 3 days a week and so on. We haven't done that. We haven't had the imagination to do that.
But by what mechanism does the firm declare that this job would have been lost? And there seems to me to be room for an abuse.
Oh well, of course it would have to be validated and there'll have to be safety checks in place, but I'm sure it's within our wit to figure out how those safety checks should be put in place. But I mean, if there's genuinely going to be a job loss in an SME, it seems to me that a collaboration between the Department of Social Welfare, as it used to be called, and the employer could come up with some form of solution along those lines, and it's neutral in terms of its cost.